Okay, so if you look at our expenditure now, our planned expenditure for the revised budget. So the first part is our fixed expenditure. So if you look at fixed expenditure and see if there's any changes to that. So mortgage repayments are expected to reduce by 5% from August. So in August, our mortgage is going to reduce, but it's still going to be the same in July. So how much are mortgage repayments for July? Well, let's have a look at our original budget. Our mortgage repayments are 1,200, 1,200, 1,200. So it's going to be 1,200 for July. In August, then that 1,200 is going to reduce. So how much is it going to reduce by? It's going to reduce by 5%. So if you go equals 1,200 multiplied by 5%, so it's going to reduce by 60 euro. So now we need to take the 60 euro away from the 120, or from the 1,020. So our mortgage now from July, because it's reduced by 60, is now going to be 1,140. And it's going to be 1,140 then for September going forward. So our total then we're going to add these up. So 1,200 plus 1,140 plus 1,140. So just to revise that, our mortgage doesn't increase until August. So it's still going to be 1,100 in January. That 1,100 has come from our original budget. And then in August then, our 1,100 is going to reduce by 5%. So it's going to reduce by 60 euro. So we found 5% of 1,200, which was 60. And then we took that 60 away from 1,200 to give us 1,140. Your childcare costs will reduce by 60% in July. So our childcare costs are 1,100. So 1,100, it's going to reduce by 60%. So how much is 60%? You're going to take 1,100 multiplied by 0.6, and that's going to give us 6,600. So our childcare costs are going to reduce by 660. So we need to reduce that from the childcare costs. So our childcare costs are 1,100 minus 660. So our childcare costs now are 440. So maybe a child is not in childcare anymore, maybe they're gone to school. So 440, and then we add them all up. So 440 multiplied by 3, because there's 3 of them, gives us 1,320. And then the last one, then insurance. Annual insurance will increase to 960 payable monthly from the 1st of July. So from the 1st of July, we're paying 960 for the year. So you need to divide that by 12. So we're now paying 80 euro per month. So 80 euro for July, August, and September. So 80 multiplied by 3 will give us 240. So a couple of changes, a couple of revised circumstances have changed. Circumstances have changed in relation to our mortgage. It's gone down in August by 5%. Childcare costs have gone down by 60%. And our insurance has gone up by 20% payable monthly. So then we get our totals then for the column. So 120 or 1,200 plus 440 plus 80. 1,140 plus 440 plus 80. 1,140 plus 440 plus 80. And then your total then 3,480 plus 1,320 plus 240. And that's gives us 5,040. And that's your fixed expenditure. Now let's have a look at our irregular expenditure. So household costs. So it's the same thing. Household costs will increase by 15% per month from the 1st of July. So our household costs are 1,600 or 1,600. They're going to increase by 15%. So how much is the increase? We're going to multiply that by 0.15 because that's 15%. So they're going to increase by 240. So we need to add this 240 on to the 1,600. So 1,600 plus 240. That's going to give you your new household cost. So 1,840, 1,840. And then your total then 1,840, multiply that by 3. So car running costs then will increase by 55 euro per month. So at the moment, car running costs are 130 per month. So 130 plus 55, because it's now increased by 55 euro per month, gives you 185. So now 185 goes in per month. So 130 plus 55. College fees for Emma will be 1,500 in September. So education. So we're going to put in 1,500 in September. And we also have, from the original budget, 470 from August. So make sure you put in that original budget as well, because that's what we had budget for in August was 470. The revised budget now is 1,500 for September, and then we're going to add those two up. I got 1,970. So college fees. So it hasn't mentioned anything about telephone, so telephone's going to be the same. So 115 in July and 115 then in September. So it's still going to be 290. And then it also hasn't mentioned anything about light and heat. So it's still going to be 190 and 120. So it's still going to be 310. And then same again, we're going to find the total for each one of our irregular. So it's going to be 1,840 plus 185 plus 115 plus 190. And then it's going to be 1,840 plus 185 plus 470. 1,840 plus 185 plus 1,500 plus 115 plus 120. Then 5,820 plus 550 plus 1,970 plus 290 plus 3,000 or 310. So we get a total of 8,945. So just looking back at my figures there, you might notice that the figures for my household costs are wrong because I had 1,900 instead of 1,840. So we need to change that to 8,646. Okay, so just need to be careful. I need to be careful with calculating the figures. And the last one then we have is our discretionary. So entertainment costs will increase by 25% from the 1st of July. So our entertainment costs are 600 at the moment. So they're going to increase by 25%. So you're going to multiply that by 25%. So it's going to increase by 150. So now you're going to add the 150 onto the 600. So entertainment costs now are going to be 750. So just to be careful here now when I'm multiplying to make sure I'm using the correct figures and not make the same error again. So 750 by 3. So entertainment costs, that's in. Presents, does it mention anything about presents? No presents, so presents are going to be the same as 75. Dunn's household will spend, so that's the holiday, so 75 in our August column, and then in your total then it's going to be 75 as well. Then our holiday then, which you didn't have in the original budget, but now we have in the revised budget, we'll spend 260 on a family holiday. They'll pay 80 as a deposit in July. So in July, you're going to have 800. And then the balance then is going to be paid in August. So what's left over then is your 2,600 minus 800 because we paid 800 as part of our deposit. And when we add those two figures up, we should get the total amount. So we should get the total amount for our holiday. So 800 plus 1,800 gives us 2,600, and that's what we have here. And then the household is planning a major family celebration in September and plans to spend 900 in the event. So in September, we're going to have 900. So once again, something that we didn't have in our original budget. So 900. And then we're going to get our totals then for each month. So 750 plus 800 gives 1,550 750 plus 75 plus 1,800 gives us 2,225, and 750 plus 900 gives us 1,650. And then our total, 2,250 plus 75 plus 2,600 plus 900. So 5,825. So now the next step to finish that off is to get your total expenditure. Remember, your total expenditure is your subtotal for each one of your expenditure. So the subtotal for fixed, subtotal for irregular, and the subtotal for discretionary. So in here, subtotal for fixed is 1,720 plus 2,330 plus 1,550. And you're going to do the same for July. So 1,600 plus 2,495 plus 2,625, and then 1,660 plus 3,760 plus 1,650. So a big expense there. And then 5,040 plus 8,645 plus 5,825. So once again, just look back, checking it. I left out this €60 here, so you're probably telling me €60. So anyway, you put that in, well done. So that's going to give us 2,550. So you're going to change your 6,840. Then is going to be your total expenditure for August. All of the expenses are correct. So once again, then just going down through each one of the adjustments. If they're increased, so it's telling the question if they're increases or decreased. So find the value of how much it's increased or decreased by, and then take that value away from the original cost. Also, make sure that you put in the correct figures. I made a couple of errors on that, so just to make sure you don't make them as well. And then your expenditure, then the same way, total expenditure, adding your subtotal for fixed, subtotal for irregular, and subtotal for discretionary for each one of the months. And that's your revised budget for your fixed income, or your planned expenditure, sorry, revised budget for your planned expenditure.